Hello and welcome to another episode of A Trini in Atlanta. Today we are making curry chicken breast, curry shrimp, bigan and aloo, eggplant and potato with chana, chickpeas and some butter shot. So before we do anything else, we are going to need flour because the flour have to sit. So before we start to season or anything, I am going to start with this. Inside here, as usual, I have some of the sprouted wheat flour. I have some of the all-purpose organic flour, and I have some sugar, and I have some salt. That is it. That's what I have in here. And I am going to let it start mixing together. And then I am going to add a little more of the all-purpose, and then I'm going to start kneading it because I want warm water. So I'm going to take some of this water and some of the hot water that I previously warmed in the kettle, and I'm going to knead the flour with this. Now this flour, you want it knead, but you want it knead soft because you're making some bus-up shot. So you want it knead soft. You don't want it a hard dough for this. And I could have kneaded it with my hands because it's only a little bit. But of course I wouldn't knead it with my hands if I don't have to. Some more, and let it keep. Add some more flour water to this. Okay. So this is not going to take a long time. If you notice, the flour is almost together, come together already. I'm going to stop it for a second because I want to touch it. That is the consistency I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a hard consistency. I'm looking for a soft consistency. And as usual, you know, I have my dough there. I think I might need a little extra flour in this, just a little. So I'm going to add a little more. It's not an exact science, so sometimes you might get it soft, and sometimes you might get a little hard, and you add a little more water. And even after all these years, I am still doing that. I am still getting accustomed to what it is. Okay, so this is done. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to take a little paratha and put it together, and I'm going to finish it here now. And I'll let it sit for a few minutes. You notice it's sticky, but yet it's not sticking completely to your hands. So this is all I want. I want this flour to be able to move easy when I'm ready to roll out my bus-up shot. So I'm going to let it sit here. It's already done. I'm not going to play too much with that flour. It's already done. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to let that sit there, and then I'll get back to that in about 10-15 minutes while the flour is sitting. So that stays there. Now, I had a few people who was asking me for different things that I've been using. The ginger and garlic paste that I use is any brand that you like. That I buy mine at the East Indian store. So I buy any brand that I like. So I don't have a specific brand. This is the Slap Your Mama. But this is mostly the same things like this. Because some people was telling me that they're not getting Slap Your Mama where they live. And that's okay. It's just occasion season. It's just the brand. It's not the seasoning. You just, whatever brand you're getting works for me. Now here, I am going to season the chicken. We have some chicken breast in here. As usual, I'm going to add a little Slap Your Mama to that. And to the shrimp, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some of my husband green seasoning, because some of you was asking me to make a video with the green seasoning, and I said to you, I'll talk to my husband because this is his department. He has been making the seasoning and the pepper sauce and doing the laundry for years. So if you want any advice in that department, you call him. So I'm going to put, it's not a lot of chicken breast, I'm going to put 2 heaping tablespoons of green seasoning. Honey, could you please tell the audience what it is you usually put in this when you are making it?
Okay, yeah, put me on that spot.
Yes, go right ahead.
It's very simple and the very basics, because our whole cooking technique is very simplified, and it is designed to get it done, and it's not overly tedious. As you all will see, the Mrs. She puts together a meal so quickly, and she even preps so quickly. So food is ready to go. So I keep the seasoning as simple as possible. Yeah, as you all will see in my future video, I'll show you all the portions. It's garlic, pandania, celery, and ginger. That's the main ingredients. And then I'll probably whip in some peppers, some pimentos if I have them on hand, and that should be it. It's nothing too fancy.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. So, y'all get to hear him and put him on the spot. Otherwise, he wouldn't tell me otherwise. But, so, we are kind of reviving. We took the weekend off and we went to visit my nephew and his beautiful, awesome wife in Clearwater, Florida. The beach was awesome. Really nice.
That was the best bathing water I have been in since being in the United States. And quite frankly, even in Trinidad, I haven't had water like that. It was clear, it was semi-calm, you still had enough waves to play in. There was no visible current to create a dangerous situation. And it was just overall good company. It was just an overall good time.
Yeah. I was totally, completely blown away by Clearwater. It was so nice.
It was an easy drive as well.
Yep, and we didn't get any traffic, so I'm cutting up some pimento here. So I'm going to add this to the pot. I'm not going to add this to the thing. This is as much seasoning as I'm going to put here. This, the green seasoning and the slap your mama, I'm not putting anything else. The rest of stuff, because you already have garlic and everything in that, so you don't need. The rest of stuff I'm going to add while I'm cooking. So that's why I'm going to leave that while I'm prepping these, so that it could sit for a couple of minutes, because they don't have to sit for a long time. And I'm going to start cutting these things. I'm going to use this. Cut this onion, cut the season. I have some tomatoes, and I have these habaneros, and I find that lately, even I could eat the habaneros. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're not that hot anymore. So I took some out to put in the dishes as I go ahead. I want to say a special hello to my dear friends in Trinidad, Doody and Keith, who are big supporters. I love you, Gail. I hope you know that. I hope you know that we'll be friends for life. You are my heart. You are so good to me. You've always been so good to me. I appreciate you. And the Jinkus. You know, when I got married and I went to live in Orupuch, I was young and I didn't know anybody. So there was this group of sisters, and they took me under their wings. And they were my friends for all the years I lived in Orupuch. Those people, I was never alone, because, you know, I'm from a big family. So when my family wasn't around, I think it was 6 sisters. They were just amazing. I can't tell you anything else. Amazing is the only word I can use to describe those awesome women. Especially the oldest sister, Shanti Jinku. Shanti Jinku became so close to me at that time, closer than my sisters as much, because I wasn't seeing them. So But Shanti is, and up to this day, Shanti is a big fan, a big supporter. She always have my back. I cannot complain. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for being my friend. And your other sister, Cynthia, and Diane, and Seema, and Cynthia, and Nadine. Those are the girls. And your mom, Pearlie, who was almost like a mom to me. So thank you all, ladies.
Did you mention Glenda?
Yes,
Friend.
Celia.
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 Yes, Celia. She goes by so many names. Hi, Celia.
So my husband remind me, Shafik remember you as Celia, and I remember you as Glenda. Anyways, thank you all. Thank you for looking at me. Thank you for supporting me over the years and being my friend. And when I went home in uh,
March.
yeah, March, sorry, for the funeral, they were right there. So we went out together. We went and had an evening out of town. And it was so sweet that I can share that time with them. And it was so special. So thank you all who always have been with me in Trinidad. My youngest brother Perry and his wife Polly and their kids. Thank you for, it was awesome seeing my younger brother when I was with my youngest brother. I don't get to spend a lot of time with him. So it was nice spending some time with him when I was in Trinidad. Thank you all. And my very good subscriber, Melissa Ramkisoon, who is always reaching out to me. You are such an inspiration. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So as I continue this, my husband wants to say a few words to Mr. Rocky, who sent him.
Oh yes, Mr. Rocky. Everybody in the West Indian community know Mr. Rocky. Okay, he's originally from Guyana. He lives in Florida. He has a YouTube site, there's a channel, sorry, that's called Being Rocky. We are big supporters of yours. We enjoy the information that you bring so much every week. I was the guy who messaged you about the Pinellas flea market. I got down there this weekend and it was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of nice stuff that we went for. I'm really big on kaimit. That's what I want. We know it as kaimit. I can't remember what you call it. We call it kaimit. And I haven't had a kaimit since I left Trinidad 27 years ago. And we had kaimit and the drive was worth just that alone. But we got other things as well, and it was a fun environment, safe environment, good parking, and it's because we were inspired by your video that we left Georgia and went down there. We had fantastic weather and we had a great time. Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you, Rocky. I love seeing you and your family. You are a good cook. Keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, so getting back to this dish, I cut up the tomatoes, I cut up the pimentos, I cut up the onions, some parsley, no, cilantro, some cilantro, I have some garlic here that I'll grate in a little bit. I cut up some habaneros right here. I'm going to add it to the seasoning. And I cut up my eggplant, which is bigan, my potatoes, my aloo, and I have a can of chana here. I'm going to mix them together. I'm going to wash this chana completely out. I'm looking for my little, I had a little, like a strainer here, but I can't find that, so I'm going to use this one. You know with that. And I'm going to wash all the sodium and whatever else that there is in this out before I mix it, before I completely mix it to the bigan and to the aloo. So, because I don't want none of those liquid. Now, hate me if you want, but I am not going to boil chana from scratch just to get a little handful of chana to put in this.
But you
So
boil real chana at the restaurant.
for the doubles.
To make it doubles,
I do.
And to make it chana and aloo for the buffet as well.
And I would have done that, and I would have bring some of the boiled chana from my Tasa roti shop today. But because we came home so late last night, the restaurant was closed, and I wanted to make this, so I didn't take some of that. That's why I didn't take some of Tasa own. But usually, we have to make doubles by Tasa, and we make a curry chana, and we make chana and aloo. So we have that for, we have to make chana for a lot of different, because remember Tasa is a buffet style restaurant as well as a roti shop. So there's a lot of cooking going. So you put 50 pound of chana there, it's not going to last but a second. As we say, a snowball in hell.
Let me ask you something. Is there a discernible difference in taste between real chana, chana that you bought and soaked and boiled, and a canned chana from just a can?
100%.
There is a difference.
100%. The one that you do where you soak with the baking soda and the oil and the salt, it's a different taste to this.
So we're having a compromise meal this evening?
A substitute. You know, mommy used to say when you can't get mommy, you take granny. That's what we're doing today. So here, I'm going to put this pot up right here. And I'm not going to put all up one time. My husband reminded me to light the, anyways, I'm not going to put all of this because I'm afraid that I will get confused and I will burn stuff. And when I was younger, my husband and I, when we were dating, we would get to talking and up to hanky-panky and we will forget the food and we burn food a lot. So I cannot do that anymore. I am a grown woman now, so I have to be careful. A little oil in the bottom of the pot because I am going to cook the bigan and aloo. But the truth or not, this is going to take longer to cook than the chicken or the shrimp. So trust me, this is going to take longer. So I am just going to put that there and I'm going to get a little grater and grate some of that, grate some of this garlic over here for cooking. So I'm going to move these around and just grate some of the garlic right here. This is a nifty little thingamajig. It does everything. If you want it fine, I grate cheese in this sometime. It's a really nice piece of equipment. So for now, I'm going to stop here because that should be enough. And then I'm going to chunk this. I'm going to put some onion into that. I'm going to put some of the hot peppers, into the bigan because I will leave some for the next two. So I'm going to let that cook there. And let that fry up there a little bit. You see, it's already loosen up, and so I'm going to put some of the garlic. I'm going to put the garlic right there and let the garlic cook up with this here. Good. And now I'm going to take some curry and I'm going to put now just a little curry there. You don't want a lot of curry, so maybe a tablespoon. So some water, some hot water, just enough to burn this curry out, just enough for this curry to cook through, just enough for this curry. I'm such a klutz. Just enough for this curry to cook through. You know, people have been so nice to me, and I thank you for continuing to subscribe, to like, to share, because really I can't do this channel if you all are not reaching out to me. I need some water. Anytime I cook with pepper, I need water because it messes with my throat. So thank you all for all of that, and thank you. I want you all to come to Georgia and visit Tasa, because the whole reason for doing all of this is for people to get to know, besides Trinidad food, which is my first love, because as much as I like food, I love curry the best. I love curry the best. Before that, I love curry. Curry is my thing. Well, anyways, I want people to come and visit Tasa and get to know a buffet-style Caribbean restaurant, because a buffet-style Caribbean restaurant had never been done, as far as I know, where you have an all-you-can-eat Caribbean buffet. Because I've had a lot of people who live in other states and even in Trinidad and they go in and they never get to eat all you can eat. Now you could still take it to go by the pound, but the emphasis was in all you can eat for one price. For one price. So I like that idea. This is frying. You notice it's almost done. It's coming together. And even better so because this is a non-stick pot. So coming together, it wouldn't it will stick at the edge of the pot, but it wouldn't burn as easily if you forget it for a second. So that's it there. So you notice the oil is coming. I'm going to throw in this, and this, I'm going to stir this here. This is not going to take as long, but it will still need a minute to cook but this is delicious. This is so good. So that, I'm going to get some of the hot water here. And thing about me when I'm cooking things like these takari, I do not like to put a lot of water where it becomes waterlogged. I will put a little bit, I will turn the fire down, and I will move the stove. I will move the stove from here, and I will put it on something slower. Put this here, turn this up, and put it here. Turn it a little bit again, like this, turn this, and then I'm going to leave this to cook on low but slow so that there is no water logged going on here. So now the only thing this needs is a little salt for it to let the water go. As usual, I like to put salt in my hand, so this way I could control the salt. I'll taste it as I go ahead, and then I'll add some tomatoes to that. As I'm cooking, I'll add the tomatoes so it'll curry down with it. And when it's almost done, I'll add some cilantro to that. So that is all this is going to get. This is going to cook. I'll add some jeera, some roasted cumin almost at the end. Taste it for salt, and this will be done. Now you can put whatever you want. I am just not one of those cooks that sit down here and find everything in the kitchen by the kitchen sink to put in a pot for it to taste good, because I do not think that it needs all of that for it to really be good. Nope, that is not fitting. And that's it. Okay? So that is going to stay there and cook. In this, I'm going to light this up now, and then let this pot come to a heat up, and then I'm going to put some oil. And I'm going to cook the shrimp here. So put some oil. Let that pot hot. I have some onion. While that pot is coming, I'm going to, oh, I found a potato. Oops, run away potato. I'm going to grate a little more of this garlic, this freshly grated garlic, because it doesn't, you could have, I have the grated ones already, but then my husband put this in the refrigerator just to tempt me. So I had no choice. I had to use his nice garlic here. Now, as I told you before, the seasoning have garlic, so I'm not going to put a lot of garlic, but I am still going to put some on top here for flavor. Yeah, for flavor.
It is important.
So I am sure, you know, my stove works like a bat out of hell, so I'm sure that is hot. So I'm going to put some onions. There you go, telling you. I'm going to put a little, I'm going to put the pepper in the food, because when I put the pepper, it messes with my throat. So I'm not going to put that there. And I'm going to get a spoon. Let that cook out for a little minute. Then I'm going to put the garlic. Put a little more onion, because it can do with it. I'm going to put the garlic here. Think about this. I'm going to add everything to that, because the shrimp will take the flavor in. The bigan and aloo and chana doesn't need all of that flavor in, but the shrimp will take it. So I'm going to add different flavorings to this. I'm going to add some garlic, some curry. I put the garlic already. I'm going to add some curry. And then I'm going to add some turmeric. I'm going to add some little ancha masala, not a lot. It's shrimp. You don't need a much. A little bit of the garam masala, and then some of the jeera. And I'm going to get some water into this. I'm going to let that fry for just a second, so it could kind of toast or patch or whatever word you want to use there. And then I'm going to add some water to that and let that cook, because this, you want the curry to cook out. The graininess in the curry, you want the curry to be smooth and velvety when you are ready to put the shrimp into this, because that is the only way that will make sense and taste good. Now you could leave it crunchy, but it wouldn't taste good. That much I am 100% sure of. So this is it. Let this continue. When this is done, I'm going to add the tomatoes, some of the pimento and everything to this and fry it up, and then I'm going to throw the shrimp. Because the shrimp, I do not like big shrimp, and my husband had taught me that, being a fisherman's son when they were growing up and when I got married, that the smaller the shrimp, the sweeter it is. Now you could do big cork shrimp, and my mother-in-law used to fry big cork shrimp when they would bring it home, his father from the ocean, but it wasn't for curry. It was for a little sandwich, and it made really good serving like that. But when it's curry shrimp or fried rice shrimp, you do not want those big shrimp. It is tasteless. And as it is here, even though this is Argentinian wild caught and it tastes good, this is the closest I have come to getting our warm water shrimp. It is still not the same shrimp. It is still doesn't taste the exact same. But I continue trying, and maybe one of these days I'll get something. So I'm going to look at this and let this come. Okay, notice already this is melting. It is starting to melt, and it smells good. It's smelling more than anything. It's smelling the chana in it. It's smelling the chana cooking up in it. Very good, very good. So this is frying there. So Tasa over the years have been a blessing to me, because I've had so many people who have come through the doors by Tasa, and even some haven't come through the doors, but some who have been in Atlanta and have specifically asked for Tasa food, which has been an awesome thing to know that even though I don't know them personally, they know who I am. And I remember the mayor of Atlanta coming to Atlanta, to Tasa, and he said to me when I got there, because I wasn't there, but he asked for me, so I went over there, and he said, I was in the White House, and somebody told me about Tasa in the White House, so I came to see what it's all about. Anyways, his driver in Atlanta was a Trini, and the driver would eat by me all the time. So it wasn't his driver who told him. Turned out it was Samuel L. Jackson who told him about Tasa, quite in the White House, and he came to look for me. So all of that, I appreciate all the love and support I have gotten from people over the years for that. Because when you work, you want it to be recognized, and I thank them. So I'm going to add the shrimp. This is completely done. Nope, but before I add the shrimp, I'm going to add the tomatoes, and I'm going to add some pimentos, and I'll add the cilantro when it's almost done. So this I'm going to turn up here. So you notice this has become like to mat together. So this, and now I'm going to throw the shrimp in here. So I'm going to get something and hold this pot together, because I don't want it to burn, but at the same time I don't want to turn the heat down, because if you turn the heat down, this spoon is not working, my love. The spoon is burning my hands. I need something else. If you turn on the heat, it is going to spring water. And I don't want this to spring water. I want the shrimp to cook as fast as it can and finish. So I keep turning it down. And in a couple of minutes, it is going to let go a little bit of its own water. And if it doesn't, that's okay too, because I'm making roti with this. I do not need a whole bunch of gravy because I have the bigan and aloo and chana here, and I'm making some curry chicken breast here. So
Through the years, I noticed, and especially with shrimp, well, specifically with shrimp, we've always been talking about some people who cook the bejeebas out of shrimp. I noticed that you have always cooked shrimp very quickly, and yet it is always cooked and it's flavored without becoming too hard. Is that something that you've always tried to do?
definitely my mom, when we were younger, she used to cook, and you know my mom is my hero. She would put the hot pot up, she'll put the shrimp in, let it cook and take it out. Then she'll make the curry and the tomatoes and whatever she was adding the flavoring state, and just add the shrimp and turn it off. That's how I grew up cooking this. But now I don't do it as that again because I'm mostly lazy. But to be honest with you, this is done. This is totally, completely done. And I am going to turn this off. I am not going, and now I'm going to throw a little bit of that cilantro in here, just for the nice freshness, and I'm going to throw a little bit of the cumin in here for it to remain on top, just a little. I'm not going to overkill it, and this is done. This is totally done. So you could eat this with the roti, you could eat it with dal and rice, you could eat it with anything. I'm going to taste this for flavor and tell you if it wants anything, but I doubt. I doubt this will want anything because it's just a little bit of something. It's not a lot. So you notice it have a little bit of gravy, not a lot, just a little bit of gravy. Any more cooking, the hot pot will continue cooking it a little bit. The gravy will continue cooking it, and any more than that, if you notice, it came together as a C already. As I always say, if it comes together like a C, oh, it's done. Let me tell her. Ooh, spicy. It's spicy. That's it. That's done. Now, this could take a little bit of salt more. I wouldn't put any more salt because we had a good, nice weekend with enough of everything. So we don't need any more salt to put in our diet. So here, I'm going to put this away. That is done. And I'm going to light this stove for the chicken. Now, this is done. I'm going to put this here in the sink. And this is the chicken. This is chicken breast, so this will not take long. And it is not only chicken breast, it's chicken tenders. The very softest, most delicious part of the breast. So the tenderloins, like how you have a beef tenderloin, this is the chicken tenderloin. So I cut up a few pieces of that, and this will cook almost as soon as it hit the pot as the shrimp. That is how fast that will cook. So let me see what is happening here. And this is continue. I'm going to turn this down some. And I'm going to let this continue cooking. So you notice, if you watch what I am doing here, you would see it is smashing already. It is mashing up. And the potato is mashing up. The only thing that is still need to cook a little more is the chana. But then the canned chana still doesn't take as long. So by the time the chicken is done, that will, I don't know if that will be ready, but not far off. So this pot is boiling already, so hot. So I'm going to add some oil to that. And then I'm going to add some pimento, some garlic, and everything else here to that pot. And I'm still going to grate a little more garlic while that is frying up, just to put some freshness on that. And So 2 grain of garlic will be enough because the seasoning have garlic already, so you don't want to overpower garlic. And that's it here. I'm not going to put any more pepper because I think we have enough of everything here. And that is going to cook there. Put this here so when I'm ready to empty it out. This is frying up here. Onion, garlic, a little hot pepper, some pimentos, some avocado oil. So that is cooking there. And while that is doing, I am going to take a little more of this cilantro and continue cutting up just for freshness on top of the chicken as well. And I love cilantro. As much as I love bandania, I love cilantro too. So leave that there for now. And I'm going to put a little curry here. So 1 tablespoon and a little bit of curry should be more than enough. Turmeric as usual. A little garam masala. A little cumin. A little anchar masala. Oops! Oopsie doops. What did I do with the spoon? Here it is. So I'm going to cook this here down a little bit, not a lot, because the pot is so hot, this will fry like crazy. And then I'll turn it down, put some oil, put some water in it, and let that fry up. Okay. Let that fry up here. So you want to cook down this curry. I always cook down my curry. I grew up with my mom teaching me to cook down curry. But then when I came to Georgia, I went to a sandwich shop and they were making curry chicken salad. They were making, you remember that, honey? That curry chicken salad that I wouldn't call the chain name, but it was a chain. And they were not cooking the curry and it was good. I don't know how it didn't make you sick. I don't know. I didn't ask the people. But it didn't make you sick at all. It didn't. It was just really good. But I still have the habit of frying down my curry because I don't want anybody to get sick, including me. So that's what we do. We let this continue cooking. It will cook everything. If you notice with the shrimp, as I was telling you, when I turn it off, it lets some water go. So you see, there's a little gravy because that's all you need. Because you're going to eat roti with this, so you don't need a lot of sauce because you have the bigan and aloo. So you just let go some. So I'm going to take a bowl and I'm going to empty that. Totally empty that from in here. Totally, completely empty this. So this would stop cooking if I empty it now. That's all I want. While that chicken is cooking. So when you are looking at me cooking is not to look at you. Cooking is to go ahead and try it. You cook, you see something, you don't have to do exactly what I am doing, but you could do it your way. Just follow the basic guidelines because I look at a lot of videos over the year and 9 out of 10 times I don't really follow them. But I have a good idea what they are doing, and so I could continue doing it from that way. Something close to it, but not exactly that. This is continuing. Okay, I'm going to add the tomatoes to the curry here. Add the rest of the seasoning here. And I'm done mostly with that. This is done. Let's see how this Bigan and aloo. Wow, it is starting to stick a little bit. So let me see how far away this. Okay, that is done. That is totally finished. It's finished. I'll put a little water because I want to smash it up. So I'll put just a little water like that. And then this is just a curry. I have to get this to hold the pot. I won't be able to hold the pot without it. So here, this is still frying. This is still frying. This I'm going to get this, and there you go. Because I like to mash it, smash a little bit, smash it up. You could smell the bandania and the garlic and everything into this. You could smell that. That is, I'm going to get back to that, but that is done. I just needed to burn out the water, taste it for flavor, and this would be ready. Okay, and let's fry out a little bit. Let me check this. This is mostly done, because you know from Tasa you have to cook 10 pots at a time, and you have to make sure, because as you know, you're putting out 25 dishes every morning plus the rest of food on the menu for the roti and everything, so you have to do. So this is ready. I'm going to throw the chicken into this. Get this, and I'm going to turn this off. This is going to turn up. Leave that there. Let go a little water. While that is, let me taste this and see if this is done. So I'm done with this cover. I do not need a cover anymore. That's good. Spicy, but good. There was one a little salt in this. I want a little bit of roasted jeera. I like to finish all my curries mostly with a little bit of roasted jeera and some of this cilantro. And this is done. And this is, I turn the fire off. I'm going to let it sit there for a second until I have a time to come to it. But this is done. This will be good with my bus up shot. Let's see what's going on here. Let this continue cooking here. While this is cooking out, I'm going to move all these things out. So I don't need these things anymore. And I'm going to move this out from here. So these bowls that I have, and they have lids for all of them, I got all these things by Walmart, Target, any one of those kind of chain store have these things. They are hard plastic, so they can put in the microwave if you need that too. You could put it in the freezer if you want to pre-season some meat and put it away. You can do that too with those. So this is done. I'm done with this. I didn't have to use this. I just wanted to show the lady that any brand would work. I'm done with this. I just completely, this here, it's too much onions. So you know me, I clean up as I go. So by the time I am done cooking, I just have to stick most of this in the dishwasher and I'm done. I don't have everything to still do. Piece of pimento, put these things away. And while that, let me turn up that again. Now that is frying. Well, this is not going to let go any set of water because it's chicken breast. And chicken breasts don't work like other parts of chicken that have bones or even thighs without bones. Chicken breast doesn't work like that. So you let it fry down there. And then I am going to cut up a little bit of the cilantro to finish it up when I'm done. And then before I do that, this is just some chicken's broth or stock. This is what you use for gravy here. Now, because the chicken breast wouldn't have a lot of flavor, but yet it's delicious. But if you want to add a next layer of flavor, that is what you use. That's what I use. Can't tell you. If you don't like that, that's fine. You could use water. But that's what I use for a next layer of flavor for this. Or you can use it for any meat, but I use it mostly for this white meat. So we are not going to put a lot of gravy in nothing today because we are, oh, that's good. That's good. That is, this chicken is almost ready because I'll show you something. Let me take out a piece and put it here. Take a spoon, let me take this knife and watch it here. You can see it's ready. It's done. You see how soft it is? It's done. If you cook it anymore, it will become dry and hard and it will stop being juicy and flavorful. So I'm going to let this fry down one more time and just add a little bit of that for gravy and that'll be okay. So now I have this flour here that I had earlier on that I had knead first so I can let it sit. And I'm going to make one of this roti. But for us, before I make all, I'm just going to make one. This is too big because you know, as I say a million times, my tower is really, 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 really small. So this will work. One of these. Continue cooking this. Now that is cooking, I'm going to get a tower here, put it up to hot. That hot there, start hotting. This finishing, and I'm going to use, this is the avocado oil with the ghee. I always use this avocado, a mixture of avocado oil and ghee. And you just keep rolling. The more you roll, the more layers you have. The more you roll, the more layers. So it gets flaky. So while this, I'm just going to let this sit for a minute. And then I'll get back to that while the tower is hotting. And I'm going to get back to this chicken. So thing about chicken breast, it is not made for curry, so you have to help it along. You could fry it, but it is not the most flavorful of part of chicken. So this is done. This is completely ready to come out of the fire. And you see the tomatoes and everything else. I am going to add the rest of the cilantro, but not all. And I always try because I use it at the end of the cooking, I always try to buy the organic cilantro. I do not like to buy, if you're cooking it through, it's something else. But when you're putting this at the end of it and you're eating it almost raw, then if you could find it and afford it, then and that is done. So I am done with the cooking. I'm going to empty that. I am going to this fire. That is the wrong place for that. So I'm going to empty this. It's getting heavy. And that is it. So all we got to do now is to make this paratha. Make one of these paratha. This is because the flour was made so soft, it's not going to take long to roll this out and cook it. So I'm going to add some dry flour to this and roll it out. I don't want to roll it out too big because it wouldn't fit in the tower. So I'm going to roll it out and then I'm going to dish it out and show you how it's done. And that's it there. See if this is hot, and that is almost ready. Let me get this here. And I'm still making it too big for my tower. When I go tomorrow by Delroy in Georgetown Market, I'm going to buy another tower. I have decided. This is ridiculous. So I'm going to take one of these spoons because I don't have a dabbler home. Hint, hint, hint. If anybody is listening here in this house,
we have survived for this long without a dabbler.
So I'm guessing I'm still not getting one in the house. Uh-huh. See?
I think if you do have a dabbler, you can't make butter.
Uh-huh. That is almost ready. Where you put it, the roti cloths this morning, my love? Okay, yeah. So we have these. And this is almost ready. You wouldn't believe this, but this roti would be enough for both of us. We wouldn't make two. People would be, I will eat half and he will eat half. And we'll be happy. And this is done. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to show you. This will come here completely. And I'm going to done this. This is done cooking. So as you can tell, this basapshat is ready. And that's it there. And that's it. So I'm going to take these out. And I'm going to dish out some dinner for us. Show you how it's done. You get some of these spoons. So, do you want any bigan and aloo and chana, honey?
Little on the bigan.
Very little. Is that enough?
Yes.
I am sure. And some chicken. He'll have some chicken and he'll have some shrimp. Maya, and then that will be his there. I'm going to break these into half for you. And I'm going to do the same, but I am different. I am going to take, my biggest portion will be the bigan. Then I'm going to take 2 pieces of chicken and 2 shrimp. And this is not hot. Then I'm going to put this here, and that will be mine. So let me show you how it's. So bigan and aloo first. Bigan and aloo. Whew, it's so hot. Bigan and aloo and chana first with some of the sauce. That's good. That's really good. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing, and I'll see you on the next video. I so appreciate each and every one of you. Bye.